are meant to call from out of the past stories, strange and weird.
Tales of mystery and terror by radio's masters of the macabre.
Stories of the supernatural, the supernormal, dramatizing the fantasy, the mystery, the unknown. We tell you this frankly, so if you wish to avoid the excitement and tension of these imaginary plays, we urge you, calmly, sincerely, to turn off your radio now.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. The drama we have produced for your enjoyment is adapted from an original short story called The Specter, Bridegroom. Its author was Washington Irving, born to immigrant English parents in New York City on the 3rd of April, 1783. Many think that he was the prime mover in the introduction of the short story to this country, to be followed by such other masters as Nathaniel Hawthorne, Henry James, and Mark Twain.
Forgive me, sir, but I must go. I have a solemn and indispensable engagement.
Surely you can send someone in your place.
It admits of no substitutes. I must attend in person.
But why? After all...
The worms expect me. The grave is waiting for me. They will bury me at midnight, and I must be there.
Our mystery drama, The Specter Bridegroom, was adapted especially for the Mystery Theater by Elspeth Eric and stars Paul Hecht. It is sponsored in part by Sign-Off, the sinus medicines. I'll be back shortly with Act One.
Fellow Americans, if you're still shopping here and there and everywhere for shoes, hold it right where you are. Put your feet together, stop running around. Just step around a Kinney and you'll cover the ground. Any way you want to go, head your feet in our direction. Kinney's got it all and more. Wow, what a store! What a great American shoe store!
Kodak invites you to remember the special moments that make up the holiday season and to trust them to Kodak Film.
A bike. Grandpa, you got me a bike. I got one, too, a red one. Look, it's snowing. No, you shouldn't have.
I know.
Oh, this is so impressive.
I know.
How did you know?
I knew.
Happy New Year!
Shouldn't you trust moments like these to Kodak Film?
If you're paying more for your car insurance than you can handle, remember, comparison shopping pays off. Arco American has been doing just that for thousands of Chicagoland motorists. Arco American has the time and the knowledge to shop for you. Every day, qualified buyers receive fantastic savings. As a matter of fact, the February 1979 issue of Family Circle magazine points out dramatically in their feature article on deflating your car insurance costs that there may be as much as 30% or more difference in costs for identical auto insurance policies. You definitely save if you shop. They repeat, Arco American has the time and the knowledge to shop for you. Call ES9-4677 for your free phone quotation. The savings could add up to hundreds of dollars for you. That's ES9-4677. Insurance plans are available with a low down payment and easy monthly installments. Shop and save money with Arco American. Call this number first thing in the morning, ES9-4677. That's ES9-4677.
When this young country was struggling to its feet, the idea of a young man devoting himself exclusively to the writing of fiction was regarded as most peculiar and certainly unwise. But Washington Irving set his course early in life and never swerved from it. By the time he reached his 30s, he was not only acclaimed by his own countrymen and immensely popular, he was also hugely loved. Listen now to his story of the Specter Bridegroom.
I am Herta von Landshort, and I lived with my father, the Baron, and my Aunt Matilda in his castle on the very tip-top of the Odenwald, a most wild and romantic spot. I was just 18 years old at the time this all happened, and quite ready, yes, anxious, to be married to the gentleman my father, the Baron, had selected for me.
Herta, today is the day.
I know, Father. I have lived for nothing else.
Quite properly, Herta. Your secluded life with your father and myself is about to end, and you will take your place in the world as the Countess von Altenburg.
I received a message from Würzburg. Franz von Altenburg was accidentally detained there, but he expects to arrive within the next few hours.
Plenty of time to review your toilette once more.
Yeah, and time for me to check upon each room of the castle, remind the servants of their duties, count the wine bottles again. Today, our hospitality must extend itself to the utmost.
And I shall counsel you, Herta, one last time on how to deport yourself, what to say, what to do, how to receive your expected lover.
Listen well to your Aunt Matilda. Even though she never chose to become a bride herself, she knows the proper conduct.
I had my chances, you know. In my day, I was known as quite a flirt, a veritable coquette.
So I've been told, Aunt Matilda.
Which is why I have guarded you so strictly. You may have resented my lectures on decorum.
Oh, no.
But they were intended to instill in you the ability to attract young men, at the same time to keep them at a distance. Oh, providing, of course, they are properly authorized.
No one can criticize your system of upbringing, Matilda. But, allow me some self-satisfaction that I have fathered a daughter with extraordinary beauty. That, too, might well appeal to Franz von Altenburg.
Father, may I ask you something perhaps trivial in your eyes?
Ask whatever you like, my precious girl.
Father, do you think he's handsome? My bridegroom? The day dragged by. My intended bridegroom did not appear. Hour rolled after hour. The sun, which had poured his downward rays upon the rich forest, now just gleamed along the summit of the mountains. We waited. We waited. The last ray of sunshine departed. The bats began to flit by in the twilight. The road leading to the castle grew dimmer and dimmer to the view. Nothing appeared stirring in it. Night closed in.
An hour ago, I thought I saw the Count and his attendants. I thought I heard the sound of horns floating from the valley. Some horsemen advanced along the road, but suddenly they turned off in a different direction entirely. Since then, there's been nothing. No sound of horns, no sound of horses' hooves, no sound of voices. Nothing.
He's not coming.
Brother, what am I to tell the servants? What of the banquet they have spent 3 days preparing?
Matilda, give orders for the feast to commence.
Without the guest of honor?
Without him.
He's not coming.
Tell them all to seat themselves at the table. Tell the servants to pour the wine, bring in the delicacies.
Oh, how are we to go through with this farce, this travesty?
The best way we can. Go, Matilda. Seat the guests. Summon the servants. Let the banquet begin. Herta and I will join you in a moment or two.
It's intolerable. Unendurable.
He doesn't want me.
No, my child.
He has reconsidered, and he doesn't want me.
There may be an acceptable explanation.
You had a message from Würzburg, and Würzburg is not so far from here. He could have covered the distance long before now.
Yes, that's true enough.
There can be but one reason why he has not arrived. He has reconsidered, and he does not want me.
Oh, my darling child.
Someone has told him that I am not worthy, that my intelligence is insufficient, that my appearance is unattractive.
Oh, no one could say such things.
They have told him that I am undesirable, and he has changed his mind. He is not coming. He does not want me.
No.
Oh, yes, Father. We must face the truth.
Brother, the guests are seated. Herta?
Come, my child. We must brazen it out one way or another.
Come, Herta.
What's that?
A horn. I heard a horn.
Do you think... Could it be?
He's here. Franz von Altenburg is here.
Admit him, brother. Go to the door and let him in. Oh, praise the good Lord.
Aunt Matilda, do you think...
Who else could it be, my darling?
Welcome, my dear Count von Altenburg. I am the Baron von Landshort. Welcome to our home. Come in.
I am sorry. So very sorry.
No need to be sorry, my dear fellow. Not now, not at this joyful moment. No need at all.
To break in upon you like this.
I listen to no apologies, not at this happy time. Come, let me present you to my sister, Matilda.
Count von Altenburg.
And this, dear Franz, I may call you Franz, I trust, under the circumstances. This, Franz, is my daughter. My daughter, Herta.
Herta.
I am so happy. We are all so happy that you are here. So very happy.
I, too. I am so very happy that I am here.
Well, why are we standing here like ninnies?
Oh, yes, the table is all set for you, Count van Oldenburg. The guests have taken their places.
Everyone will be impatient to greet my daughter's intended husband. Count Franz, will you give Herta your arm?
With pleasure. Yes, certainly. Would you permit me, Herta?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I remember little of the banquet. I sat on my father's left, the Count across the table from me on my father's right. We addressed few words directly to each other, but, the looks that passed between us. They were lovers' looks. I could not doubt, inexperienced as I most certainly was, that he was as enamored of me as I of him. And I had been a fool to worry that he might be less than handsome. And yet, as the feast progressed, he seemed to grow dejected, ill at ease, and finally downright melancholy. A tiny tremor ran through my frame as, with a somber look, he rose from his seat.
Baron, ladies and gentlemen, all.
What is it, my dear Count?
It is with the utmost regret, with grief, with sorrow, that I say farewell to you.
What's that you say?
Farewell?
Leave the castle at midnight? Why, everything was prepared for your reception. A chamber is ready for you if you wish to retire.
I'm sorry, Baron, it cannot be. I must lay my head in a different chamber this night.
You cannot mean what you say. Franz, I beg of you.
Don't leave us, not now. We have waited so long.
Why are you doing this? You must have a reason. There must be a reason for your going. I could have sworn that you and I...
There is a reason for my leaving you.
Then in heaven's name, tell us.
I have a solemn and indispensable engagement.
Well, can you not send someone in your place?
It admits of no substitute. I must attend in person. I must return to Würzburg Cathedral.
Well, yes, but not until tomorrow. Tomorrow you will take your bride to the cathedral in Würzburg.
My engagement is with no bride.
What is he saying?
Then what?
What does he do?
Then who?
The worms. The worms expect me. I am a dead man. My body lies at Würzburg. At midnight, I am to be buried.
What are you saying?
The grave is waiting for me. I must keep my appointment. Farewell. Farewell all. Farewell. Farewell.
He's gone.
What did he mean?
What could he possibly
He has left me.
What was he talking about?
He did not want me after all.
What the devil was the man saying?
He was no man.
What? No man? No man, Matilda?
Oh, yes, he was a man. But he did not want me.
It's not a man, Matilda. What was he?
A specter.
A specter? What are you saying, woman?
No, he was no specter. He was to be my bridegroom.
He was a specter. The specter of a bridegroom.
By the time Washington Irving was 36 years old, he had written a collection of essays, sketches, and tales. They were published in 1819 under the title of The Sketchbook, and made Irving something of a celebrity. There were only 3 stories in the sketchbook. One of them was The Specter Bridegroom. The other 2 are among the most famous tales ever written: The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and Rip Van Winkle. I'll be back shortly with Act 2.
When I started working at this bakery, my boss sounded like this.
Raymond, you're eating all the profits.
So one day I started bringing coffee to work. Maxwell House coffee. And just to be sociable, I offered him a cup.
Raymond, this coffee is delicious.
Then he made me a deal. He said,
Raymond, you supply the coffee, I'll supply the cake.
Maxwell House's coffee that makes good friends. Good to the last drop, Maxwell House.
Sinus flares up.
I'm clogged up, headaches, my whole face hurts. Help!
Send for Sign-Off.
Sign-Off helps relieve your pain, helps clear congestion, ease sinus pressure and postnasal drip. Sign-Off does it all.
Send for Sign-Off.
And for the fastest known form of congestion relief, Sign-Off Spray. Sineoff.
Sign-Off.
The sinus medicines in the bright red box.
Is here.
For occasional use only as directed.
Toro has come out with a great idea, and Polk Brothers has it: a powered snow shovel. It's so lightweight it even hangs up where the old backbreaker is now. And it's only $89.95, less a Polk trade-in allowance. And you also get a 100-foot heavy-duty winterized extension cord. All you do is plug it in, squeeze the handle, and poof, goes the snow. A real heart saver, another great gift idea. With your purchase for only $10, you can buy the very famous Toro Edger Weeder Trimmer. It's a $49.95 value. Makes a great Christmas gift, and it's packed in its own shipping carton. Visit Polk Brothers today and see a fine selection of other snow blowers available right now, gas or electric models, even ones with electric start. Remember, with your purchase of the Toro snow shovel or snow blower, you get the $49.94 Toro Edger Weeder Trimmer for only $10 at Polk Brothers. Polk Brothers is open nightly, including Saturday till 10, on Sundays till 6, for your shopping convenience.
You are listening to a tale of horror and romance, an irresistible combination, especially when told in the well-known Gothic style. So-called Gothic stories were enormously popular in Washington Irving's day, and they have continued to be in demand by the reading public, and now the listening public. It is good to remember that the Gothic romance was assisted into the world by an American, Mr. Washington Irving.
I have Matilda von Landshort. When my sister-in-law died, giving birth to Herta, my brother the Baron asked me to undertake the rearing of his motherless daughter. She grew into a young lady of perfect docility and correctness. Was this to be my reward for years of careful, constant supervision? That she and I and her father should be deceived, deluded? Yes, Cheated by a visit from a phantom. The answer, the tragic reply to that question, arrived the day after the banquet. And it was myself who had to relay it to my brother, the Baron.
Yes? Who is it?
It is I, brother.
Matilda? Enter.
Oh, brother dear.
Yes. What is it, Matilda?
Well, we had a message.
Oh, yes? What message? Speak up.
I have asked Herta to join us here. She'll be along presently. After all, the message concerns her most of all.
Anything which concerns my daughter intimately concerns me.
This concerns her intimately. There's no doubt of that.
Well, then tell me what it is. I give you warning, Matilda, not to trifle with me today after the shocking events of yesterday evening, the grotesque ending to what was to have been such a joyful banquet. My nerves are on edge, and I cannot tolerate shilly-shallying. So tell me whatever it is you're stammering about.
The message is from Würzburg.
Würzburg? But it was to Würzburg that the Count said he must go when he left us so precipitously.
Yes, to the cathedral.
To keep an engagement, he said.
With the worms, that is what he said. To be buried.
At midnight.
Brother, the message which has just been delivered says that Franz, Count von Altenburg, was murdered.
Murdered? You said murdered?
Murdered. Yesterday. His body found and interred in Würzburg Cathedral at midnight.
No. Oh, no. I can't believe...
It's true, brother.
Aunt Matilda? Father? You wished to speak with me?
Oh, my poor child. My dearest child. How can I tell you?
Let me do it. Herta, we just had word that the Count von Altenburg was murdered yesterday and his body interred in the cathedral at Würzburg.
But he was here last night.
That was a phantom. Don't you know that by now? An apparition? Your Count died, and what arrived here was a specter. A specter bridegroom. You can well imagine the dismay that settled upon the castle. My brother shut himself up in his chamber. The servants huddled in groups, shaking their heads and shrugging their shoulders. But the situation of the widowed bride was the most pitiable. To have lost a husband before she even embraced him. And such a husband. Of course, I insisted on sleeping alongside her in her chamber. Herta? Herta, my dear?
Yes, Aunt Matilda?
Oh, have you slept at all, my precious?
No.
Oh, my poor darling, what am I to do with you?
There's nothing to be done.
But you must have your rest. You'll lose your beauty, your young freshness if you do not sleep.
I have no further use for beauty, or freshness, or youth. I'm widowed, and I've never been a bride.
Try, my dear one. Try to sleep.
No. I simply lie here and gaze at the beams in the rising moon, trembling on the leaves of the aspen trees, and think of him.
Your specter bridegroom.
Whom I love with all my heart, and shall love forever.
Oh, my dear, don't say it. Herta, what are you doing?
Nothing. Only going to the window to look down on the garden.
Oh, well, wait, I'll join you.
There's no need.
Nevertheless...
Be quiet, Aunt.
He's there. He's come back. Do you see him, Herta? Herta, do you see him?
Of course I see
It's your specter bridegroom.
Yes. The man I love.
Herta, have you seen this specter before from this window?
No. But I have expected him. And now he is here.
No, come away from the window.
And he will come back again and again and again. He will be my consolation.
You cannot console yourself with a specter.
What else do I have?
We will sleep in a different bedchamber.
Oh, no, Aunt Matilda.
I refuse to sleep here again. We'll move to another wing of the castle, you and I.
You may sleep wherever you like, Aunt. I shall sleep here.
Young lady, are you defying me?
I suppose I am.
Herta, I fear for you. I tremble for your safety.
Do not tremble and have no fear. As I loved my lover, so now do I love his specter. Leave me, please.
Oh, well, if I must.
You must. And one more thing.
What is that, my heart?
Swear that you will never repeat to anyone what has transpired here this night.
Oh, Herta.
Swear by the saints you will keep my secret.
By the holy saints, I swear. What else could I do? I am deathly afraid of ghosts, spirits, shadows, anything from beyond the grave. That my sweet niece should be able to endure this silent communion with a specter was beyond me. Yet I must admit in all candor, during the days that followed, her health improved. Her disposition brightened. Her expression held a look of serenity. Yes, even of happiness that I had never seen before. Until I made the horrible, the hideous discovery.
Matilda, you're late for breakfast.
Yes, I know. My apologies.
No, there's no need to apologize. I'm simply accustomed to finding you at the table when I come down.
Brother,
You needed to sleep, I understand.
No,
Oh, now that I look at you, you're pale. You're even trembling.
Brother, I must tell you something.
Where is Herta? Did you waken her?
I went to her room.
Well, then, she'll be down momentarily. Come, Matilda, eat a little something. It'll perk you up.
I must tell you about Herta.
Have you observed how well she's been looking lately?
Yes.
And how her spirits have improved?
I must tell you about Herta. Please let me.
Of course.
Well, it's very difficult.
Well, now, how difficult can it be? You and I have no secrets from each other. Now, what is it?
I do have a secret, something I've kept from you. I took a sacred oath.
What is it? Speak up in heaven's name.
Well, I shall have to go back to the day we received the message from Würzburg.
That the Count had been murdered.
His body interred in the cathedral.
Yes.
You remember that Herta was stricken to the heart?
Well, of course she was, to lose a bridegroom.
The specter of a bridegroom.
She was so distraught, I feared for her very life.
And so did I. That is why I moved into her bedchamber and slept beside her. Not that she slept very much. Then one night, I spoke to her. I was sure she was wide awake. I told her that if she did not sleep, she would lose her beauty, waste her youth. She said neither beauty nor youth had any value to her, since her heart lay with him, with the man she had promised to marry, and had never even kissed.
The Count.
The shadow of the Count. Then, without warning, she got out of bed, went to the window. She said it was only to gaze down on the garden. I said I would join her at the window, and I did. Oh, brother, I looked out the window into the garden, and there he stood, gazing up to the second story from where we looked down on him.
Are you saying
I screamed so loud I should have wakened the entire household. For what I saw in the garden was the specter bridegroom.
No.
Yes, it is true. I swear it. I must say to you that there was still the semblance of manly beauty about him. He looked something the same as he had when he came here for the banquet. I could understand a little, at least, why she found him endearing.
Endearing? You said endearing? How can a shadow be endearing?
I said as much to her, and she replied, I shall never forget her words. She said, where the substance is not to be had, the shadow must suffice.
Good Lord.
Moreover, she said she expected him to return night after night, again and again, and she would observe him from her window. She said he would be your consolation.
And did he? Did he come again?
I think he must have. I, of course, could not continue sleeping in that chamber. I moved to another room, and she stayed where she was. I believe that each night she has silently communed from her window with her spectral bridegroom. Well, you must admit it's done her no harm. On the contrary, she has blossomed. She has bloomed.
Yes, I admit the truth of that. Still, I should have been told. You should have told me, Matilda.
She swore me to secrecy. She extracted my vow that I would never breathe a word of her unholy trysts. This morning, a half hour past, I went as I have always done to awaken her for breakfast. And she's not there.
What? Not there? Where is she?
I have searched the castle, every nook and cranny. Have searched the grounds of the estate. She is nowhere to be found.
It's impossible. Utterly impossible. Summon the staff. We shall all look for her.
We will not find her.
Why not, in the name of heaven?
Because the Specter has carried her away. My poor brother, the Baron, he ran frantically about the castle. He questioned every servant, and two of them said that they had heard the night before the clattering of a horse's hoofs down the mountain near the hour of midnight. They had no doubt that it had been the Specter on his black charger bearing her away to the tomb. As for myself, I had known it all along.
In 1789, George Washington was inaugurated president in New York City. So Irving would have been 5 years old when, it is said, on seeing our first president enter a shop, a young Scottish maidservant followed him with young Irving in tow and said, "Please, Your Honor, here's a bairn who is named after you." Whereupon the great man touched the small boy's forehead and gave him his blessing. I'll be back shortly with Act 3.
They said it couldn't be written. The book that hit America like a runaway locomotive. The new Consumer Information Catalog.
For the life of me, Foster, your obsession with that book escapes me. It's only a catalog.
The book that's helping America find a better way to live.
What do you find in that catalog?
Something you could never give me, Lillian.
More than 200 fact-filled federal publications listed inside.
Booklets on home and car repairs, weight control, keeping household records, and more. I read them all to be the man you want me to be.
That's a lot of reading.
The book you have to read from the Consumer Information Center of the U.S. government. The new Consumer Information Catalog. It's free. Just write to Free Catalog, Pueblo, Colorado, 81009.
That's Free Catalog, Pueblo, Colorado, 81009. Send for the book.
Don't wait for the movie.
Any way you slice it, True Value Hardware Store's December bargain of the month is a real value. The Hamilton Beach electric knife for just $9.77 is a practical Christmas gift for a busy homemaker. Or buy one for yourself and use it to cut and slice meats, bread, vegetables, and more. Just guide the knife and let the serrated stainless blades do the cutting for you. The reciprocal action of the blades assures you of fast, clean cuts. And the Hamilton Beach electric knife from True Value Hardware Stores features the famous hole-in-the-handle design for ideal carving control and ease. Plus, the extra long cord provides greater convenience. Get the Hamilton Beach electric knife and the decorative almond and chocolate design for just $9.77. It's the December bargain of the month while supplies last at participating True Value Hardware Stores.
True Value Hardware is more than just a name. It's a way of doing business that means True Value.
It's 1 a.m. on News Radio 78 WBBM Chicago.
The moment you step into Polk Brothers television department, your eyes go wild. Hundreds of brand new, brand name 1980 models turned on and operating. you'll see the name Sony, all their models, their new 26-inch console, the new long-playing Sony Betamax video cassette recorder, color and black and white portables. They're Polk-priced, even bigger savings thanks to Polk trade-in allowances. And with your purchase of any Sony TV at all Polk Brothers stores, a free Polk gift designed to help your entire family enjoy a better life. The 2-volume hardcover $24.95 edition of Sylvia Porter's new money book for the 80s. Specific expert advice on everything from college loans to budgets, buying T-bills to wills. Over 1,400 pages of tips on beating the high cost of living. Polk Brothers is proud to bring you this free gift with most major purchases. We're convinced it can be the greatest financial counselor your teenagers or you could ever have. So get set for the 80s at Polk Brothers, nightly till 10 till 6 on Sunday.
Why is the linking of terror with romance so fascinating? Not just today, but through the ages. Folklore is filled with just this conjoining. The Greeks, in their fables, bound passionate love together with mysterious and drastic outcomes. So did the Romans. To this day, we are all inexorably drawn to the story that tells of wild, uncontrollable love combined with hideous consequences. Why should this be so? Frankly, I haven't the faintest idea.
I am Hendrik von Starkenfaust. I was on my way home from the army when my horse lost a shoe. The village of Würzburg was not far away, so I left him there and turned him over to the local blacksmith to be reshod. I myself was somewhat exhausted and looked about for a tavern where I might refresh myself until my horse was ready to finish the journey. I followed the sound of revelry and soon found myself inside a cheery room with a fire roaring, men sitting at polished tables, and a pretty waitress. She had just brought me a stein of beer when I felt a hand on my shoulder and heard a familiar voice.
Hendrik, it's you, isn't it? Hendrik von Starkenfaust?
That's my name, yes.
Am I to gather that you do not recognize me?
Oh, merciful heavens! You are Franz von Altenburg, am I right? Yeah, of course, I'm Franz. How are you?
Splendid. And you, Hendrik, how are you? You're looking well? A little weary? Very well?
Yes, I am well, and if I look weary, it's only because I'm just home from the wars. My horse threw a shoe, and I'm waiting for the local blacksmith to fix him up. Then I'll be off again. My family is expecting me. I'm anxious to get home.
Hey, mind if I sit down?
Oh, dear fellow, of course I don't mind. I'm delighted. Sit down. Tell me all that's happened since last we met.
I've got myself betrothed.
No.
Yes, I have. In a day or two, I shall take to myself a bride. Now, there's something you've not been able to accomplish away at the wars.
No, you're right about that. Though if I tried very hard, but I am not particularly interested in taking a bride at the moment. I'll wait a bit, I think, till some particular girl, some superlative creature crosses my path.
But by then it'll be too late, my dear Hendrik.
What makes you say that?
Because by then, the superlative creature will be married to me.
Oh, you don't say.
From all that I've heard, from every direction, she's one of the fairest damsels in these parts.
What you've heard? You've never seen her?
No, but I shall tonight. Her father's readying the most elaborate banquets imaginable to celebrate the betrothal.
And her father is?
The Baron von Landshort. A worthy member of a fine family.
Yes, I've heard of the Baron. He lives not far from my family's domain. Unhappily, there has been some bad blood between my family and the Baron, one of those foolish feuds going back so far that no one remembers how it started. So I've never set foot in his castle, nor met him or any member of the family.
Look here, Hendrik, if you're going home...
my parents are expecting me.
My retinue is sojourning here in Würzburg for a few hours. I promised them the rest and relaxation. But as soon as your horse is fit for travel, let us, the two of us, start off together. Since we're bound in the same general direction.
A splendid idea. We've much to talk about, and I need to hear more about your future wife.
She has been guarded like a delicate flower, they tell me. And they say she looks like one, too.
Yes, Franz, this forest is said to be infested by robbers.
Her Aunt Matilda has watched her like a hawk.
Yes, I know for a fact there are hordes of disbanded soldiers wandering about. They can be dangerous.
Herta von Landshort will be the crowning glory of my life.
Franz, look there, behind the tree. Draw your sword, my friend. Draw your sword. Be quick. Be quick.
Henry! I'm wounded! Henry! Help me! Help! I'm stricken, Henry. Help me.
Your retainers are approaching, Franz.
Badly stricken.
The robbers heard them and they have fled.
It's too late. It's too late. No. Don't try to lift me. It hurts too much.
What can I do? Tell me.
Go to the castle of the Baron of Landshort and tell them. Explain. Say why I cannot keep my appointment with my bride. You will do this, Hendrik.
Franz.
Else I shall not sleep quiet in my grave.
I promise. You have my word. Here, take my hand. You have my pledge.
My beautiful bride. My fair one.
Franz.
She waits for me. Bring me my horse. I shall mount, yes. I shall mount and ride.
Rest.
Here it is. Give me a leg up, someone. Up into the saddle. Reins in my hands. The spurs press into my horse's sides. Now, forward. Slow trot. Fast trot. Into a canter. Now a gallop. Faster.
He died in his delirium. In Würzburg, I arranged with the Holy Fraternity of the convent for the funeral solemnities and my friend's burial in the cathedral near some of his illustrious relatives. His retinue took charge of his remains, and I set off on my sorrowful journey. I shall confess to you, whisperings of curiosity stirred in my bosom to see the far-famed beauty of whom he had said so much, though my heart was heavy and my head perplexed at the thought of presenting myself an unbidden guest among traditionally hostile people, of dampening their festivities with tidings fatal to their hopes. You can imagine my surprise when the door was opened.
Welcome, my dear Count von Altenburg. I am the Baron von Landshort. Welcome to our home.
I am sorry. I am so very sorry.
No, there's no need to be sorry. Not at this joyful moment.
To break in upon you like this.
Let me present you to my sister, Matilda.
Count von Altenburg.
And this is my daughter, Herta.
Herta.
I am so happy. We are all so happy that at last you are here. So very happy.
I, too. I am so very happy that I am here.
Well, why are we all standing here like ninnies?
The table is all set. The guests have taken their places. We were simply waiting for you.
We were certain you would arrive.
And now you see, here you are.
So without further delay, shall we go into the banquet hall? Everyone is impatient to greet my daughter's intended husband. Count, will you give Herta your arm?
I? Oh, with pleasure. Yes, certainly. Would you permit me, Herta?
Oh, yes. Yes.
I scarce remember the banquet. I suppose I conducted some sort of conversation with my dinner partners, but my eyes kept straying to the beautiful girl across the table from me, and her eyes strayed too. Believe me, every glance of mine was returned. I dared hope with the same feeling of tenderness behind them that inspired mine. The situation was unbearable. I was an impostor, a deceiver. I had usurped the life of my friend. Suddenly, I rose from the table. Baron, ladies, gentlemen, it is with great regret, great grief, that I say farewell.
Leave us at midnight? Why, everything was prepared for your reception. A chamber is ready for your reception. A chamber is ready for you if you wish to retire.
It cannot be. I must lay my head in a different chamber this night.
Don't leave. We've waited so long.
Why are you doing this? There must be a reason for your desertion. I could have sworn that you and I...
Yes, there is a reason. I have a solemn and indispensable engagement.
Well, can you not send someone in your place?
It admits of no substitutes. I must attend in person. I must return to Würzburg Cathedral.
Not until tomorrow. Then you will take your bride there.
My engagement is with no bride.
Well, then what? Who then?
The worms. The worms expect me. I am a dead man. My body lies at Würzburg. At midnight, I am to be buried.
What are you saying?
The grave is waiting for me. Farewell. Farewell. It was a stammering exit. I was trying to tell them that I was not Franz von Altenburg, that I was not the husband they planned for their daughter, but simply his friend who had held him while he died. That my family had feuded with theirs for heaven knows how many years. I was torn with regret to have deceived them, but as much by the thought that I would never see Herta again. This was the agony that drove me back to the castle, not to speak to her, merely to stand beneath her window and gaze up at her, and wonder of wonders to see her gaze down at me. Each and every night, until her window opened.
Are you there, my love?
Herta.
Have you come to claim me?
I have no right.
No right to claim one who loves you?
Herta, I am not Franz von Altenburg.
You are not?
No. No, I am Hendrik von Starkenfast. My family's domain is nearby, but our ancestors have not acknowledged one another for years and years.
Have they not?
Franz was killed by robbers on his way to claim you. I was with him when he died.
Were you?
He is buried in the cathedral at Würzburg. I came here that first evening to tell you that.
Did you?
But then when I saw you, I lost my heart to you.
Did you indeed?
I could not bear to blurt out what I have told you. I was so afraid.
Afraid of me?
Afraid that you would despise me. Afraid that I could never make you love me. But after all, these nights, these silent trysts, when you looked down on me in the garden and I looked up at you, I have dared to hope. Hope plucks at my heart that you... That you...
Yes,
that you do love me, even as I love you.
I am going to close tight the window now, Henrik.
Herta.
In 10 minutes, I will come to you in the garden. And you will carry me off to the cathedral at Würzburg.
We were married in Würzburg. And when all was explained, all was forgiven. And the revels were resumed. Aunt Matilda confided in me that she was so relieved that I was not, had never been, a specter. She would have pardoned me anything at all. As for the Baron, well, let him speak for himself.
I am, on the whole, well pleased with my son-in-law. He is gallant. He's generous. And he's very, very rich.
You see how foolish and how dangerous it can be to believe in specters, phantoms, ghosts. Any one of them may turn out to be a real flesh and blood person. And there's this, too. Besides being a real person, he might also turn out to be very, very rich. Think about that. I'll be back shortly.
Children. We take them for granted. We shouldn't, for they are the future of the world. But not all children are happy. Some are refugees from a war they never made. Others are young people in trouble with the law. To them, too, the world is an alien place, something to defend against, whatever the cost. Still others are abused, or hungry, or just in need of some understanding. Because all these children represent our future, 1979 has been designated the International Year of the Child. Your American Red Cross joins organizations in 118 nations in urging you to do something this year in your community to help your children and children everywhere. To find out what we're doing and how you can help, contact your Red Cross chapter. Thank you.
The Gothic tale is international. Starting with the Castle of Otranto by the Englishman Horace Walpole, it was followed and improved upon by Honoré de Balzac in France. In America, the form was carried on by Washington Irving and brought to a peak by the genius of Edgar Allan Poe. It may be foolish and dangerous to believe in specters, but it certainly is fun to listen to them. Our cast included Paul Hecht, Robert Dryden, Grace Matthews, and Patsy Bruder. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. And now, a preview of our next tale.
It's so very warm, Clarissa said. Can't we take a short ride in the buggy, Mother? I said, let's. It might cool us off. So the little pony was hitched up, and Clarissa and
Go on.
We had barely got out of the gate to the outpost when
Think hard, Mrs. Armstrong.
I can't go on.
You are outside the gate to the outpost. You're in the buggy drawn by the pony. And then...
Oh, good Lord! Clarissa, run! Run! Oh, Clarissa!
Mrs. E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time... pleasant dreams.
Lipstick look terrific for the first half hour, then do a fast fade? Your nearby Walgreens Beauty Center has just the answer for you. New Max Factor Color Fast Lipstick. It's the ingenious new lip color with an uncanny knack of staying on and on, even under the mistletoe. Max Factor Color Fast Lipstick is long-lasting, too, right through holiday toast and festive dinners, and those great moments that make Christmas the kissing season. Walgreens Beauty Center brings you Max Factor Color Fast Lipstick in 8 fashion-right shades, from plum gorgeous to 4-alarm red. All rich color that goes on creamy, lights up your face with lip shine like you've never seen before. And Max Factor Color Fast lipsticks have the staying power you want. 'Tis the season to be colorful with new Max Factor Color Fast lipsticks. Just one of the many beautiful Max Factor cosmetics and fragrances for you at Walgreens, the Christmas Shoppers Center.
That's the show for this week, but don't forget there are thousands more like it at relicradio.com. Horror, strange tales, science fiction, crime, all available for free. If you'd like to donate to Relic Radio and help keep it all free, you can do that through the website as well. Visit donate.relicradio.com to find out more and to see the special downloadable sets that are available. My thanks to those who have donated, and thanks for listening today. Talk to you again next week.
Strange Tales.
RelicRadio.com presents tales of the strange and bizarre, the weird and the wicked. Stories not necessarily of the supernatural, but of the unnatural. Join us now for Strange Tales, featuring radio drama at its most mysterious and unusual. Welcome back to Strange Tales. Thanks for joining me this Sunday. Before we get started, a quick reminder, if you'd like to help support this and all of the Relic Radio shows, visit donate.relicradio.com or click on the donate link. We are 100% funded by you, thanks to those who have helped out and have helped bring us today's show. We're going to hear from Inner Sanctum, their story from August 15th, 1949, titled Dead Heat.
Good evening, friends. This is your host to welcome you through the creaking door into the inner sanctum. Come on in. I want you to meet some new guests we just dug up. These cuties went astray because they had no murder to guide over. This fearsome fellow, a carpenter by trade, got rid of his wife by using a drill. So naturally, his spouse was bored stiff. This murderous minx would never have been caught if it hadn't been for the ashes on the rug. Her husband's ashes. And finally meet Tony, the village bellman, who turned out to be a dead ringer. You want to know why all these guests are hanging from the rafters? Well, that's because we like to keep our spirits up.
Tonight's Inner Sanctum mystery, Dead Heat, was written by Ed Adamson and Bob Sloan, and stars Mercedes McCambridge in the role of Clara, with Carl Swenson as Vincent.
Well, folks, suppose you just curl up anywhere. Say, here's a nice spot for someone. Reasonable, too, just marked down from 6 to 3 feet. Now, let's get to tonight's terrible tale. For over a week, the intense August heat lay on the Western Valley like a loathsome leech, drawing the lifeblood out of all growing things. The grass has withered to yellow. The soft, lush earth is hot. The streams have become dried, rocky beds. By day, the sun in a cloudless sky blisters the scorched land. And night brings no relief. Only the distant melancholy cry of the coyote. And in the valley homes, the parched night burns the minds of the people with troubled thoughts.
It'll never let up, Vincent. This
awful heat. Hardly a breath of air. It's as if death has come to the valley to take us all. Everything here is dying.
Clara, this heat is the worst possible thing for you. Now, I've told you before as a friend that you must leave. Now I'm telling you as your doctor. You have got to leave here. Tonight.
Leave? I wish I could. But I can't.
Well, of course you can. Nothing to hold you here.
You don't know, Vince.
Huh?
You don't understand her power. She's holding me here. She won't let me leave.
She? Who on earth are you talking about?
My sister, Evelyn.
Evelyn? You're not making sense. Evelyn has been dead for over a year.
Yes. Still, she holds me.
She's buried in a hillside cemetery. The dead have no power over the living.
Evelyn has. Now.
What do you mean now?
Don't you remember, Vince? Last year when she died, it was like this. The air was as still and as hot. Death was around us then like it is now.
Clara, stop talking like that.
She's holding me here, Vincent, because she wants me to die.
Clara,
and I know what she's thinking. I killed her. She always thought I was the woman her husband, Stephen, was in love with. That's why it broke her heart. That's why she died.
Now, Clara, listen to me. People don't die of a broken heart.
I watched her during that terrible hot spell last year. I saw her fade. I saw her dry and shrivel. And I remember how she looked at me with those eyes every time Stephen came into the room.
Clara, believe me, this is all your imagination.
Oh.
Now, the heat is warping your reason. That's why you've got to leave the valley immediately.
Hello?
Hello, Clara.
Who is this?
Why, Clara, I'm surprised. Don't tell me you've forgotten your loving brother-in-law so soon.
What do you want, Stephen?
I just thought I'd let you know about it. I'm up here on the hillside at the cemetery. They called me about your sister's grave.
What?
They say the heat is doing it.
Doing what? Stephen, what are you talking about?
Maybe you better come out here and see for yourself. It's Evelyn's grave. The earth is cracking, and the grave is opening up.
Be careful, Clara. Watch my flashlight. The ground around here may be cracked, too.
I've been to her grave so many times. And yet I'm almost afraid to go now.
Well, you should have listened to me and waited in the car.
I was afraid to be alone tonight.
I told you it isn't good for you to use up your energy in this heat. You've got...
Oh, the doctor is right, Clara.
Who is...
Did I frighten you, Clara?
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, Stephen, it's only you.
Come on, Clara. We're going up to the grave.
You can't now. Half that side of the hill has fallen away.
Oh.
Here, Clara, look at this. You recognize it?
Yes. Yes, that's Evelyn's diary. Where did you
One of the workmen found it in the dirt beside Evelyn's casket.
That's the diary she always kept under lock and key. The one that was placed in the coffin with it.
That's right.
Now, let me see that.
Oh, Vincent, please. Don't open it.
Why not?
Because she always guarded it. They're her own private thoughts. She didn't want anybody to see them.
Something in this diary may help us. Something may be written here that'll explain her death.
What is it, Vincent? What's the matter?
It's strange. There's nothing written on any of the pages.
Are you sure?
Uh-huh. Oh, wait. Here's something on the last page. Tonight, in the heat and darkness, I will get my revenge from the two people who made me wish myself dead. My husband, Stephen.
She didn't understand
and
me.
And my sister, Clara.
Oh, no.
I have the strength. I will kill them both.
She must have written that the day she died. She went to her grave thinking that Stephen and I...
Wait a minute. This wasn't written the day she died. Look at the date. August 15th, 1949.
The 15th? That's today. I don't understand it. How could she...
It means just what she wrote, Clara. She's coming back to kill us.
But she can't come back to life. Or can she?
Of course she can't. Evelyn can't do either one of you harm now.
Not if she's really dead. But what if she's still alive? If she still had strength to write in the diary.
What are you trying to say, Stephen?
Maybe she isn't dead at all.
And don't be a fool. I signed the death certificate, didn't I?
I'm going up to her grave to make sure.
The grave isn't there anymore. The side of the hill slipped away.
But her casket was there. You said so before.
Yes, the casket was there. Only Evelyn's body wasn't in it.
Come on, Stephen. You're going into the house with us.
What for? Well, why can't I wait for you here in the car?
You can both wait out here. I don't mind going into the house. Oh,
Clara, just a minute.
that light in the house.
Wasn't it on when you left?
No. It wasn't on, was it, Vincent?
Well, I honestly don't remember.
I'm not going in there.
We both may have forgotten about the light in our excitement. Come on, Clara. We'll go in with you.
But I'm sure. I could swear I turned that light off when we left.
Well, maybe you did. Maybe she turned it on again. Maybe Evelyn is in there waiting for us.
Both of you are so frightened that you're not making a bit of sense. I told you, Evelyn is dead. She's dead for all time.
Please, Vincent, don't. Don't open the doors. Maybe.
There. Now, do you see that no one is in there? All right, come on now. Stephen and I will wait here while you get some things together. Clara?
What?
Clara, what is the matter with you? What are you staring at?
Glove.
Glove? What are you...
A woman's glove on the table there.
Well, that's yours, isn't it?
No.
The initial?
Yes. It's Evelyn's glove.
There, you see, Vincent, I told you she's still alive.
She's been here, looking for us, Stephen.
She may still be here in the house someplace. We've got to get away from it. The lights. She turned the lights off.
She's come for us.
Stop it, both of you. Stop. The power supply is running short in the valley. They're just conserving electricity.
You're lying. You lied to us all along. You knew she wasn't dead. You brought us back here to be killed. But
You're not running out. You're going to stay here and listen to reason.
Now, let go.
Not until you listen to me.
I said let go.
Stephen, what did you do to
I
him?
just hit him. Come on, we've got to get away from here before he comes to.
We can't leave him.
Fool, do you want to die?
All right, Stephen, I'll go with you.
Now, where's your car?
Around back in the garage. Why?
Because we can't use it. You'll trace us that way.
But you might be wrong about Vincent.
How can I be? You saw the glove. I never did trust him. He and Evelyn were always so confidential with each other. Well, now, watch your step. It's dark back here.
Wait.
We can't stop now. What is it?
Wait. Someone is there. In the shadows alongside the house.
You can't see there. How do you know that?
Can't you feel it? In the air? The heat right here is so oppressive. It's filled with... Stephen, look out! Stephen! Stephen!
Clara, what's happened?
I don't know. I felt something pass me in the dark. I heard Stephen cry out, and then he fell to the ground.
Stephen is dead, Clara. He was stabbed in the heart.
And that's the story, Sheriff Cooper. Dr. Branson here came out and found Stephen stabbed to death. My sister Evelyn killed him. Just as she said she would in her diary, she returned the light.
Now, look, Miss Fleming, I admit this heat's got us all on edge. The whole valley is going loco, but I still don't believe in ghosts.
But I tell you, she was here.
You saw her?
No, but I could feel her presence. When she was near, the air was hotter, stiller. It almost suffocated you.
Oh, it's too hot to argue about ghosts.
But what about her diary? That note was in her handwriting. And that glove of hers we found on the table, what about that?
Well, Clara, somebody else could have put that there.
Somebody else, Dr. Bronson? Why couldn't Miss Fleming's sister put it there herself? Why couldn't she have killed Stephen?
Well, that is a strange way for a sheriff to talk. You know she's dead.
Is she? Then what happened to the body?
Well, obviously, when the earth cracked and the hill slid away, the body was thrown clear of the coffin and buried in the debris.
I was thinking, Doctor, maybe the body was never in that coffin.
Vincent, what does he mean?
I don't know, Clara.
Doctor, you took care of Evelyn, didn't you?
Yes, and I signed the death certificate. Now, look, Sheriff, I don't like the implications that you're making.
You don't have to like them.
Evelyn died. I have a complete record of the case. I kept that record myself.
That's what I mean. It's only your word.
Oh, not entirely. There was a nurse on the case until the end.
No, Vincent, no. Don't you remember the nurse was discharged the day before Evelyn died?
The day before?
Yes.
Yes, that's right.
Well, Vincent, if you're hiding something, you've got to tell it to the sheriff now before it's too late. If she's alive...
Don't be ridiculous, Clara. Now, you don't believe that your sister is alive, do you?
What else can I believe? Now.
She's alive, all right. And, Doctor, you know where she is. Now, look here. She's committed one murder already, and you're going to tell me where she's hiding before she kills her sister. Right. You stay away from that phone, Doctor. I'll take it. Hello?
Sheriff?
Yeah?
This is Deputy Williams.
Well, what is it, Williams?
We finally got something on that case. We found the sister, the one who was missing from that casket.
Good work, and I was right. She is alive.
Alive? No, Sheriff, she's dead as a doornail.
What?
The workmen found her body when they were digging out the landslide at the cemetery.
I'm sorry, Miss Fleming, but you've got to make this identification. That's your sister's body?
Yes. Yes, that's Evelyn.
Okay.
Can I take Clara home now, Sheriff?
Yeah, sure. And, Doctor, excuse me for jumping on you that way before.
Yes, of course.
I guess the heat got me more than I thought. You ever see such crazy weather?
Come along, Clara.
Oh, Vincent. What am I going to do now?
Now? Well, Clara, there's nothing more to worry about. Aren't you sure that Evelyn's dead? She can't possibly harm you.
Oh, you still don't understand. Only her body is dead. She killed Stephen. She returned from the grave and killed him.
No, Clara. You must believe that Evelyn could have had nothing to do with that.
But Stephen is dead. And whoever killed him is alive. And will kill me. Vincent, whose house is this? Why did you bring me here?
Ah, don't worry, Clara. A friend of mine lives here, a woman named Lucille Lang. And you'll be perfectly safe here.
But, Vincent, I don't want to go to this...
Oh, Dr. Bronson, good evening.
Miss Lang?
Lang. I know that name from somewhere.
Come in, Miss Fleming.
And your face. I know your face, too.
Why, of course you do. We've met before.
Where do I know you from?
Well, you'll have plenty of time to talk about that later, Clara.
Oh, no. No, I'm not going to stay here tonight.
But Dr. Bronson ordered that you...
Vincent, please.
You must do as Miss Lang tells you.
Oh, no, please, Vincent, take me away from here.
Come along, Miss Fleming.
Let go of me.
You mustn't be afraid. I won't hurt you.
I'll do as I want, Clara. Miss Lang will take the best care of you.
All right, Vincent, all right.
Now, you get a good night's sleep.
Yes.
I'll be around to pick you up in the morning.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night.
Now sit down right there, Miss Fleming. That's it. You know, the more you move around, the worse you feel the heat.
Yes, so they say.
See how much calmer you are already? You're not afraid of me anymore now, are you, Miss Fleming?
I guess not.
I'm glad. I can't be of much help if my patient is frightened of me.
Patient?
Oh, I suppose you're not really a patient in the strictest sense after all.
No, I know. Now I remember. You're a nurse. You're the nurse.
Why, yes. I'm the nurse who took care of your sister. It was a shame to see such a fine young woman die. I felt terribly when I heard about it.
Oh, you awful thing! How dare you even mention my sister?
I don't understand.
You know why she died. You know more about it than anybody else.
Well, Miss Fleming, you're just exciting yourself unnecessarily.
Don't come near me.
But I only want to help.
Don't touch me. Get away. Oh.
What is it, Miss Fleming?
The glove. Or rather, glove.
Glove?
They're on the table. You had them both. You did it. You killed Stephen. That proves it.
Better go to bed. You're much too agitated.
You're not going to kill me. I'm getting away from you. I'm not going to die.
Wait, you shouldn't go out there.
Oh.
You're not getting away from me.
Oh, let go, please. I don't want to die. Please let me go.
No. You're coming back to the house with me. I'm going to take care of you, just as Dr. Bronson ordered.
Oh, please, I'll pay you anything. Only let... Lang.
What is it? What's wrong?
It's here again.
What?
Here in the dark, around. I can feel it. Coming closer, closer. Oh, save me, Miss Lang. Save me before it's too late. Miss Lang, what's the matter? Miss Lang!
Clara, what happened?
Vincent, what are you doing here? I thought you...
Well, I was worried about you, Clara. I just came back to make sure that everything was all right. What happened? Why were you calling Miss Lang?
Miss Lang is dead, Vincent, on the ground there. Look.
What? I never dreamt that she was in danger.
She wasn't. Don't you see this?
Huh? She what?
She wasn't meant to be killed. It's so dark out here. She was mistaken for me. The murderer meant to kill me. What's taking the police so long? The sheriff should have been here by this time.
Oh, don't worry. He'll be here soon enough.
But you said you called him 20 minutes ago.
I did. He wasn't in. I left a message for him.
Vincent? You did call the sheriff, didn't you?
Clara, what is the matter with you? You heard me speaking on the phone, didn't you?
No. I was in the other room.
Well, you sound as if you don't trust me.
I don't know whom to trust anymore.
Oh, Clara.
Oh, Vincent, forgive me. I don't know what I'm saying. But I'd feel better if the sheriff were here.
Well, you've no reason to be afraid. I'm here.
Yes, Vincent. You're here.
You're afraid of me.
Yes.
Well, why? Why would I want to harm you?
Because you think I know who killed Stephen and Miss Lang.
Well, don't you?
No, I'm not sure. I didn't see anybody but you.
And naturally, that is what you will tell the police.
Vincent, I want to believe you. Please, tell me. You didn't kill them.
Of course I didn't.
Well, then why don't you let me call the police?
All right, Clara. Just to prove a point to you, we'll drive over to the sheriff's office. Come on.
No. You go. I'll wait here for you.
I wouldn't leave you alone now. Not for all the world. After all, there's a murderer loose.
All right, I'll go with you. Bring the car around to the front and I'll be ready.
Are you sure you won't try to run away?
No. Why should I?
Well, just don't try it. Because there's no place to go. I'll be back in a moment.
Hello? Hello, operator? Operator?
Number, please.
Oh, operator, quick, get me the sheriff's office, please. Hurry.
1 moment, please.
Hurry.
Sheriff Cooper speaking.
Sheriff, this is Clara Fleming.
Yes, Miss Fleming.
Did Dr. Bronson call your office?
Dr. Bronson? Why, no.
I knew he was lying.
Say, what are
Sheriff,
you...
listen to me. I have only a minute left. There's been another murder.
What?
And Dr. Bronson is the one who's responsible for both of them. You've got to get here before he kills me, too.
Where are you calling from?
Sheriff, he's outside the house.
Where are you?
At a Miss Lang's house at the northern end of the valley, just a few yards off Trumbull Road.
Trumbull Road.
What's happening? Oh, dear. I'm coming, Vincent. Sheriff, please hurry.
What's wrong, Miss Fleming?
The lights. They've been turned off. Vincent! Don't! Don't come in here!
Miss Fleming! Miss Fleming!
What are you doing in the dark, Clara? Who are you talking to on the phone? Clara, why don't you answer me?
Oh, Vincent! Please let go of me. Let go of my arm.
Let go, Clara, when you drop that knife.
What?
Now drop it. Drop it, I said. Oh, there, that's better.
Vincent! Oh, Vincent!
You would have killed me, too. Just like you killed Stephen and Miss Lang. Clara, you're a murderer.
Oh, no! No, it wasn't me. It was Evelyn. She came to me. I could feel her near me in this heat. She was beside me all the time. She made me do it. But she was my sister. I had to help her.
You called Sheriff Cooper, so all the blame would be put on me before you stabbed me, too.
No, I wouldn't have gone through with it, Vincent. I could never kill you, never. But Stephen was evil. And that Lang woman, she's the one who took Stephen away from Evelyn. She's the one who broke up their marriage. They took my sister's life. It was only fair that theirs be taken.
I suspected you in a way, Clara. That's why I took you here to Miss Lang's house. You hid your sister's body and you wrote those words in her diary.
I only copied what my sister said in hers. 1 year ago tonight. On a night like this. All hot. And evil. And Sanctum.
Sit down, Clara. to the sheriff.
Listen. It's raining.
Yes.
Evelyn. She's gone from me. She just left. Evelyn's gone back to her grave.
The spell of the heat is over, Clara. It's all over now.
Well, Clara will finally join her sister in that cemetery, and then there'll be tombmates. Say, if you happen to live in that valley and you hear that grave slid down the hill again, don't let it bother you. Because slips don't count. Oh, yes, there's a moral to tonight's torrid topic. It's from the overheated pen of that desert rat philosopher, J. Foulweather Friend. Says Mr. Friend, people who live in Greenwich hot houses shouldn't throw bones.
Inner Sanctum was heard in the United States over CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System, and has been rebroadcast for servicemen and women overseas through the facilities of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.
That's it for today's Strange Tales. I hope you enjoyed our selection this week. You can, of course, find more from Inner Sanctum at relicradio.com alongside past episodes of this show and thousands of others. All the other podcasts are there, a Shoutcast stream, and everything else Relic Radio. Thanks for joining me this Sunday. I'll be back next week with another episode of Relic Radio's Strange Tales.